We are Leah and Talon. We resigned in 2021 from our jobs, packed up all our stuff, and moved our little family from Oregon to British Columbia, Canada. Join us as we start from scratch to grow a farm using permaculture and restorative agriculture techniques. Build a home from the ground up, all while caring for this beautiful land we call home. So some sad news, watermelon did end up dying. We think it was from polio, and we were told from the gal that we got the goats from, so that it's not common, but it happens where once they're weaned, they're unable to absorb thiamine properly. So we tried to kind of give it supplements and things like that, injectable supplements, and it just was too late. So he ended up seizing a bunch, and it was really hard and sad on the whole family. But our friend Mel, she really helped us do what we could for the goat. But it was just too much for his little system, and he ended up passing. But we still do have two goats. We still have Scrunchy and Weaverton, and they are thriving. They're making the transition off of milk. And so the little bump in the road, very sad. But we will carry on with our two little goats and hopefully never have to experience that again. So sad news to share that watermelon did pass away. And our kids are very sad about that, and we are very sad about that. But we're just gonna keep on learning and growing and enjoying our baby goats that we do have. It's January 6th. 5th?
5th.
January 5th. We're finally doing our last batch of meat birds this year, although now it's 2023. So
it took a while.
It took a minute. Yeah. How old are these birds? I don't even know. I didn't look.
I don't know either. I have no idea.
Probably 12 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think
12,
super old.
12 to 13 weeks.
Yeah. And we like raising the meat birds we found in the fall, and so that it's cold when we butcher them, because then we don't have a bug problem. So no mosquitoes, no flies, no wasps, nothing. But we pushed it too far this year.
Definitely.
That was my bad, because we got our 50, the Mistral Greys that we already butchered, and we were raising those. And I was like, this isn't going to cut it, because all of our people around us were like, can we have 5? Can we have 10? Can we have 5? And I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah,
it was
crap.
Kind of impressive. We became very popular with our chickens. So all of a sudden, our stock of what we would use for our own food is gone.
Yeah. So
to all of our neighbors, which is great.
It's awesome. And we've been doing a lot of trading. So one of our neighbors unfortunately had a deer earlier this year. And their freezers were full because he had already done hunting, and they raised some goats and put those in the freezer. And he was like, do you want this deer? And we were like, oh yeah. So we're doing a trade for that. And then they've also given us a lot of
goat supplies. Our new form of currency is chicken.
Would you like a chicken in exchange for a bale of hay? Basically, is kind of how we're rolling, and it's exactly what we want, right? Yeah. So it's been really cool. We have sold some chickens. This is the first time we've ever sold some. So, hi caboose. We base it off the weight. How much do we sell it for? £6?
$7.
$7 a pound? I thought it was $6 a pound. Either way,
$7 a
something
pound.
like that. The grain's really expensive here, so yeah, it works out to be about that price. Are you drying all of our freezer bag? Emmy is a great help. So this last time I butchered all the birds and eviscerated them and got them plucked and all that. Is that how we did it last?
Leah was the one outside doing the outside work, and I was inside doing the inside work of breaking the birds down and putting them in all the shrink wrap bags and getting ready for, you know, the long-term freezer camp.
Yeah, so this time I didn't want to. I didn't want to keep butchering. It's sad, right? It's sad. So the last birds we did them like whole. I think we piecemealed like five or something, and then
So these we are parting out into breasts, wings, and thighs, and legs.
yeah.
Which just makes it so much easier for meals. It's an extra step and an extra prep, but in the long term, over the course of a week and meal prep, it's a million trillion times better.
We waste less animal because we found cooking the whole bird, then you get busy, right? And you don't have time to get the meat off the bones, and then you have to make soup, and then you have to deal with it. And so this is
A lot simpler.
This is just like one meal at a time. Yeah. A lot simpler for sure.
Yeah, it's easy to just grab one for lunch, and then just cook some wings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. Okay, back to it.
Okay.
We kept half whole. So we have these birds here, whole birds. And then for our family, we really enjoyed a broken down bird. We just find that we eat it better. So we did just the vacuum sealer packages of, hey Em, will you come over this way? You can hang out in this freezer. So we did the vacuum sealer packages of wings and thighs. And then breasts. And then we actually saved the tenderloins for a separate package so that we can make some little chicken strips out of them because the kids really like those. So that's kind of how we broke down our birds for us to eat and then also to sell and trade with our neighbors. What you doing?
I am moving the old chicken bedding into our outdoor compost pile.
So what did we raise in here?
50 meat birds.
And they had access to outside, but then once it became winter, they basically stayed in here. So we did the deep litter.
Yep, deep bedding, and primarily of a mix from the mill where we get our wood chips from, of you know, it was fir, larch, and a little bit of cedar.
And straw, right?
And some straw.
And so what are you doing with it now? Come on.
I am just transporting it from here into a very large compost pile where we also have all of the gizzards and innards composting, so that everything is a loop for our production of food here. So all this ends up in the garden.
Because we make dirt out of it.
Yes, we do.
This is the first time, though, that we are trying to make dirt out of innards. So we have to, what's the, process to do that?
Lots of carbon. So we just have to have a lot of the browns, in order to make this get hot enough to compost everything down at a safe temperature.
Yeah, and what's the temperature supposed to be in the compost?
I have to relook it up, but it's, I think around 160 degrees.
Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Fahrenheit.
Cool. And so we're trying to do that with all of this poop bedding, adding a bunch of carbon in with all of the chicken innards. So like their intestines, gizzards, stomachs, lungs, all of that is, we're trying to break it down instead of just tossing it or burying it somewhere. So it'll go back into our garden.
That's right.
Get to work.
That's right.
What's the date? January 13th, I think. Something like that. The 12th or the 13th. And it has been raining since after, just a couple days after Christmas. And it hasn't been super heavy rain, but it's been raining. And it's January in British Columbia. Like, it's not supposed to rain. And everybody that I ask is like, yeah, no, this is really weird. So it's just been kind of tough. In terms of like, one of the reasons I was excited to move from Oregon was that we would have like cozy snowy winters. And yeah, it's cozy and stuff, but it's snowy, but it's not the snow that you can really get out and enjoy. So it snowed early this year. It snowed November 7th. Well, this was the first day that it snowed, and then it was like cold and snowy from then on out. But then since then it's been raining like I said, for like half a month, not more. Since the end of December. So we had the early onset of the cold winter, and that was really nice. It was like fluffy snow. We got to go sledding a bunch and just like be cozy, hunkered in. And now it's just like rainy and wet. Like, you can't really go sledding or anything, but we're trying to make the best of it. Talon's got some compost heating up, which is, we couldn't do last winter at all. It was too cold and frozen. So he's doing that. He's taking the chicken bedding. So it's allowing us to do some other projects that weren't like, that are warmer climate based, such as composting, which again, we weren't able to do last year, but now we're able to do it this year because it's been rainy and above freezing. Our chickens are happier, our baby goats are happier. Everybody's just a little bit happier in terms of like temperature, but in terms of like nice weather and it being like a typical winter, it's not. It's way warmer and raining and kind of gross and soupy, but still beautiful.